So today I'm going to show you guys how to groom your dog start to finish. Minus the bathing bit, because that's a little too difficult for me to video right now. You'll bathe your dog, towel, pat dry them, blow dry. So I'll show you from the blow dry to the finish, this is what I should say. I'm gonna do just a basic, it's kind of like a puppy cut, but it's a Havanese, so I like to leave their face longer. I'll kind of walk you through on, you know, where you can deviate from there. Just kind of show you the different steps that I go through. I'm not a professional groomer. I don't hold that title. I have been grooming my dog since I was in my teens, so I have experience in that end. This video is for someone who wants to do it at home, not to teach other groomers. If you follow these steps, you know, I'm usually happy with the way that my dogs come out. These are just some of the supplies you're gonna need. Products I use, I've been using, I really like them. I use them every time I groom. It just makes the job easier. You can use a regular blow dryer. I just like the way that the HV blow dryer works. It just makes the job a lot easier. They fluff up better. It's easier to groom overall. I'll put links in the description for all of these things that I have. I got them all off of Amazon. So you can just go and click the links and get exactly the item that I use here, which just I find makes my job easier. This is the first item that you'll need. Second most important thing is you're gonna need a comb. So is definitely something that you need. Next thing is gonna be our clipper. So I just use a Wall. It's called U-Clip Deluxe. I like it. I've had it for a little while. I maintenance it. I also have a guard on it, obviously. So the guard that you're going to use, if you're going to use a guard, just a basic pair of nail clippers. And then I have ear powder. Ear powder is for, one, it dries the ear canal, which you want to do. And two, it makes it easier to pull out hairs. With hypoallergenic dogs, you get hair in the ear, so you kind of want to pull that out as it gets too long. I haven't been using this for years, but I've been using it for a few months, and I really do like it. One of my dogs was having issues, and that seems to have cleared it up for him. So this is just kind of an ear tonic that you put in the ear that helps dry everything out and keep everything free of any nasties. They act kind of funny after it, but overall, you know, it does a job. So I have this in my list, my arsenal to use. And then this is a tear comb stain. No, let me see if I can say that again. Tear stain comb. I use this mostly after a bath. It just kind of takes out all of those boogies, combs everything out that's right there. And then we have obviously our brush. This is our main brush. Mine has two sides. You have this normal brush side, and then it has like a regular brush side that you can just kind of take off all the loose hairs. As you can see, there's hair. I don't know if you can see all the hairs flying around there. But I really like this brush. I've been using it for a long time. I probably should get a new one by now. But it does the job. It's a firminator. And another thing that I use is this dematting comb. So, you know, I try and stay on top of my dogs. I'm sure everybody does too. But sometimes you're gonna get a mat. So when you do get a mat, this thing just kind of shreds through it without making you kind of chop out a patch. Now it does thin it, so you obviously don't want to have to use this every single time because your dog will end up with this thin coat. But man, this thing is awesome. So I recommend this to my clients. I'll do another video for just specifically dematting, because obviously I know some people don't want to just watch through the whole video for that. But this thing is sharp. On the back side, it's not very sharp. It's pretty blunt there. But on the front, man, those knives are sharp. So you really have to be careful with this thing. But it'll rip through those mats and, you know, let you brush them out in a lickety-split. So these are the stuff we're starting with. This is the list of stuff that I use. You can add, take away what you may or may not want to use. This is what I use. I trust these products. I've been using these products. So I'll go get a dog and we will get started. Okay guys, I have my female dog Sophia. She's usually pretty good on the grooming table, but she has a couple little mats here and there, especially in this hind area. You'll find that Havanese sometimes get. But overall, her coat's pretty good. She does have some, I guess, tangly area in the front because we do top knot on her. But we're gonna blow dry her out and then we'll start the grooming. Okay, now that we've dried her, we're just gonna go through with our comb and you'll just kind of comb out where you can comb out. And now this is where this tool comes in handy, this dematting tool. So she has a couple little mats, but wherever you have your mat, you're gonna take this smooth side, and then you're just gonna put it right up against them and just kind of comb it through their coat. And if there's no resistance, you obviously have no mats in that area. But where we do have a mat, right here, we're gonna catch a little bit of resistance. So we'll just kind of gently brush through it until the mat comes out, and then voila, your mat just hops right out, or it goes to the very end and then you can just brush it right off. This tool is really awesome and really gentle on them, so I like to keep this handy and use anytime I get these little tiny, see, it just takes them right off, so there's no pain for the dog. And it's a super cool tool that I'm glad that I found, because with a longer coat, sometimes it's just bound to happen. Unless you're super awesome, and if you are, props to you. That's awesome. Sometimes I fall behind. So we have some in this back area. So I'm just going to comb through just like this. So again, I just have this smooth part there, and I'm just kind of brushing through just like this. But these blades are super sharp, so you just want to be really careful with and really aware of where they are and what they're touching. You only want them to touch the mats, so keep brushing until I get no more resistance. And then you'll see on the brush, it just takes them right out. I mean, it's almost 100% matte, but obviously it has to take out some of the hair. Sophia's kind of lazy. She doesn't like to stand all the time. So I just remind her and pick her back up. And again, it does thin the hair out, so you don't want to have to use this every single time, but occasionally when you find yourself with a mat, then, you know, you have an easy way to take it out without having to just have a bald spot in that area or completely shaving the coat, which that can be a bummer too. So I can't feel any more tangles or any more resistance on where it's catching anywhere. Brush. And see, I find a little bit right here, so I'm gonna investigate, see what it is. And there is a little tiny tangle. So I will just take my comb and carefully put it up against there to brush it out. And there's our tangle. So she has a few more on this side. So again, I'll just grab my tool and just kind of get in there. You just comb those bad boys out. You just see, and one just pops right out. So you don't want to pull the hair. You're just kind of brushing through again. You're just like this. You're just pulling it through, and where you find resistance, that's where it'll take out the mat. And you don't want to pull against it. You just kind of, when you feel resistance, you just kind of want to pull up and away from it. So it just kind of takes the mat out, and you're not pulling their skin, because those mats can really hurt them. As you can see, she had quite a few little ones, so she has like a few little ones that we got rid of. So little ones like this, that thing's, I mean, it's a dream. It's a dream on bigger ones too, but this is typically what I use it for. Occasionally, you know, every couple months or so, I have a couple of these where I, you know, wasn't as good as I should have been brushing. And this takes care of that, so that the hair can continue to grow and you don't have these bald spots, or you don't have to shave, so this is good. Okay, so we'll just comb the hair like this. You want to kind of stand it up is what you're going to do. And now we're going to get our clipper. I'm using a number 5 comb on mine because I want to keep her kind of long, but I want to take down some of this length for the purpose of this video and just to kind of shorten her a little bit. So if your dog's not used to this, all you want to do is turn it on occasionally and just kind of put it next to them without actually cutting any hair. And just kind of do this a few times before you actually groom. It'll just kind of get them used to it. See, she's kind of investigating, but she trusts it. And you're going to take this, and you always want to go with the coat. You never want to go against it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go with my coat. So it's going to take off the hair, and you just want to pass over it a few times. So you'll take off more hair, you'll see the hair coming off. So I'll see our length and make sure that's the length I want to go, and if I don't want to go any shorter. You always want to start higher. You can always take more hair off, but you have to wait for it to grow back if you go too short. So I'll kind of show you on this side. I normally turn her around to me so that it's on me, but so I can show you guys what I'm doing. You're just kind of taking the clipper and going along the body like this. So you want to turn the dog towards you to do this. So I'm going to flip her around. I'm going to be closer so I can see what it is that I'm doing. And you just kind of go comb through, just like you're brushing or combing. You just want it to kind of take off the extra length that you don't want. So now for the legs, what we do is you don't want to cut into the legs per se. So you're just going to kind of go, and you're going with the hair. So you see where the hair changes directions? That's where you're going to kind of change direction. So here, we'll kind of scoop off like this. But here, and we're going to scoop out so that we're coming out just like this. But we're not going to go into the leg too much because we can scissor trim that down. I'll turn her so I can see her leg, and I'll just kind of scoop out. And then where the body is, again, I'm just kind of going with the hair. You just brush with it. Same thing on the legs, you just kind of go down it and scoop out. You don't want to go too far down into the legs. And then you just kind of want to stand the hair up. I do this with my hand. You can use a comb too if you'd like and you're able to. I find my hands pretty, for the first few times, is easy enough. That side, how it looks. You're just taking that off, so enough slack here. So now I'll just do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now we have that. So you just kind of want to dust all the hair off. It's going to be easier to show you with this one. So what I do is I comb all this hair out like this. So you just comb all the hair like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab the paw and you're just going to kind of cup it so that it's like this. But we're just going to shave this hair off right here because we want to expose all of her pad. So you face them away from you. And you'll grab, then you're going to take your clipper, go along, and I just expose all of the pad. I don't ever trim in between the pads. I don't find it necessary. It's not fun for the dog either. I just check, make sure there's no mats, there's nothing stuck in there, and I just clean up the pad. What you do is you just take it, cup it like this, you take your clipper, and you're just going to go and you just expose the pad. You just want your pad. I don't go in between the pads. I just go right over the top of them so I can expose her pads and give her some traction whenever she's walking. And then the same thing on the other side. So I'll take this one, expose it, and I just cup it and take off all this hair here. Pads show and she has traction. I'm going to do her front ones the exact same way. Sophia gets lazy, so I let her sit sometimes. So I just trim all this hair. It's a little bit different with her because she's swollen and I'll do a cleanup video and that'll show how to do a sanitary cut on the back for them. I'm just going to go ahead and do it and move on to the next step. When they're standing, you want their nails not to touch. So when they're standing up, you want them short enough. Hers are just a little bit growing out. They're not quite touching just yet. But still, we want to trim them. So if your dog has their dew claws, you just kind of want to take the hair back just a little bit. You just clip it off. And then the same thing here. They have what's called quicks in them. So I just kind of trim off a little bit. If you're not comfortable doing this, go to a vet or even some groomers will do a quick trimming for you. So here, if your dog has white nails, you can more easily see. So I know how much around I need to cut off. And dogs' quicks adjust how short they are, the quick will draw back. She doesn't like her paws touched up, you can know. Hi! You look crazy right now. I know. So these dew claws are sometimes the more difficult ones, but just take off a little bit. I'll come back around here, and I'll just do these really quick. I think they need a little trimming, yep. I just want to make sure she's nice and trimmed. If your dog doesn't like their paws touched, this is definitely something to get somebody to help you on, because you don't want to cut too deep on these. So again, if it's something you're comfortable with, great. If not, definitely get someone who is comfortable doing it, because you don't want to nick them. That's not any fun for anybody. So she's a little too long here, so we want to take this length out. I just want to take off this length that's left here, because I want it to be even and not look like she has a mullet. So I'll show you on this side what I'm doing. She'll let me. She's not very familiar with me going this way. See, I'm lifting the ear to make sure that the ear is protected, and then lifting the rest of her hair. So I'm just going down, just like this. I'm just going down, 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 and just taking out any extra length that may be there. And then I go down the front here too, just like that. So this tool I like to use here, but especially right here, when you have these eye boogies, right here, you just take the comb and you just go in there and you clean out any eye boogies that may be there. And we'll go on either side here. Sometimes if you kind of hold them underneath, I'm not choking her, but just kind of resting my hand underneath her mouth. So there's plenty of space here. There's no choking going on. But you just kind of hold them steady. So then here, I just come in with this, right here on the eye. If the dog's not used to it, you want to make sure they get used to it first, where you hold them really steady. And I just come in right next to the eye, and I just kind of scoop out this area here. So then we just cleaned out this little area right here. So I'm going to do this other side. I just take that off. And you just kind of brush that off. And then this front piece, I do this, you don't have to, but I do. And I go just right here and I just clean up. And I just take a little bit of length to go right above. See? So then what we have is this. Okay. And we have a nice clean face, so we can see her eyes, we can see all of that. So she keeps a little bit of her eyebrow hair, and then what I do is I use these little rubber bands from Walmart. Rest them here so I can kind of control if her head bends or not. And you just separate this. You ever done a little pigtail? That's like that when you do little pigtails on a kid that moves a lot. So you just take this side. I don't ever worry if it's too perfect or super straight lines or anything like that, because I fix these pretty often just so they don't get tangled. You want to kind of every couple days or something just make sure they're not pulled out or tangled or anything, and redo it. So there, I just kind of get a general little amount of hair, you know. So she has a nice little pony. Then I take our rubber band and expand it so that I can put it right here. Let me pull it, and I just go around a few times, pretty tight on there. This just helps ensure that it stays on there better. So then once it's there, I just kind of make sure the skin's not too tight around it, and if it is, just kind of pull it out. But she's usually pretty happy with it. And then we have our pony. See? So now she looks pretty girly. So you lift the ear here, and then I just clip out this area. So that you have a nice clean ear. Okay, you don't want too many hairs there. You just want to kind of clean up the ear. She has some hairs in there that we'll take care of as well. So then I take wherever my ear, the end of my ear, so hers is right about here. So I'll just take that and I go a little longer. So my ear's right there. So here, I will grab my scissors, you just hold it steady, and I'm just going to take off all of this length here. So again, her ear is well behind this finger back here, and I'll just chop it out. So then that's the length I know I want her ear to lay. So if you see on the side, it lays like this. So now this end is a little bit too big, but we're going to clean that up in a second. So our ear, we want to make sure I get our ear out of the way. And then we're just going to kind of comb this area down here. This is hard to do on this end, but so basically we're going to take this and scissors, because we want to give her a nice short. And I just clean this up here, straight off. So then we have a nice straight line there. You just kind of take it and cleaning it up there. Yeah? It looks pretty straight here. And again, you'll just find wherever the tip of her ear is. It's nowhere near this. So what I do is I just take this and I just clean it up at an angle like this. So our side face looks like this. So then I'm going to do the other side how I normally do it. So you want to keep them in front of you. It's a lot easier to do this way. Just look at it from the front. Make sure we got an even cut, because so far it looks like we don't. Go underneath, not choking, but just kind of holding the head. And then I want to make sure that my sides are even. So I just take a little here. I can kind of tell myself where it is. And then I'm going to cut her mustache too, because I want it to be even here. So I'm just combing this hair at the bottom into my fingers so that if I know if it's even or not. So then we got our marker here on where we want this to be cut. So I have to shorten this a little bit to match our other side. You want to make sure to flip their ear back. You don't want to catch that. It's no fun. Something like this. So you want a nice cute face like this. So now we do the legs. So I get my brush and I just comb it out like this. So then I put my fingers wherever her little leg may be. And I just cut off straight. Just like this. Just to take off some length. Go straight all the way back. So my fingers are where her leg is, and that's where I know where to stop. And then up here, I just go down and just even it out. Okay? So then we do the other side. So I sweep the other way. She doesn't want to give me her paw. And I just hold this. So I know where her leg is. I can feel where it is, so then I know where to chop and where to stop. A more trimmed leg. You want to do them the same way. So if you started out, you swept out the first time, sweep out again this time. Did we miss a tangle here? So then just chop along the side. Again, my fingers are there, so I know where it is, where to stop. Sweep out this way. So again, my fingers are here, so I know where her leg stops. And then I just take off whatever's left. Little groomed legs. So I just kind of take this here, and then I just something like that. Sophia is tired of me. Look up, baby. I know, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Can you be patient for me, huh? Can you just be patient? And the tail is just one area you don't ever really want to touch. It takes a long time to grow back, so you just kind of want to make sure there's no tangles in it. Just kind of brush it out, and that's pretty sufficient for the tail. So now I'm gonna do the back leg. So same thing, I just kind of brush it out to the side, and then I put my fingers where her leg is, and I just do a straight cleanup that way. Then I do the other side, put my fingers where her leg is, so I can take a nice straight cut. Okay, and then I turn her to the side, and then for these legs here, I just brush forward, and then I put my fingers where her leg is, so I can just take some hair off of here. Okay, comb the paw down and out, just like this, and you can kind of see where the nails still are. So I just hold their foot down. You're just gonna go around, just like this, and clean up any excess. So I flip scissors like this, and then try not to get any nails away. So you're just cleaning that up, just like that. Alternatively, you can grab their paw, just like this. You just want to make sure that you angle inward, just like this, to clean it up. Then you're left with a cute little paw, just like that. And the same on this side. Coming out, hold the paw. You just want to make sure you're angled inward. That's what gives you a nicer paw-looking finish. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm kind of sick. To make it easier, you can stand them just like this. I'm going to comb it out a couple times too to make sure you got all the stragglers, just like that. So you have a groom like this, right? So you take care of all of this, and you just, you know, she's the length I want her. You have clean paws, trimmed. Your ears are pretty good, but normally I would get the powder. Find the need to pluck them any, and then you have this tonic here. And I just grab them like this, and I just put a few drops in there, and then you just massage it around. The more you do it, and when you don't have to record, it gets a lot easier. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Happy to answer. Just take your time the first time you do it. Don't get upset with yourself if you have some mistakes. It happens. Again, I'm not a professional. I just want to do it at home. Saves me 50 bucks per dog. I like the way they look. They get used to me handling them. She wants to shake her head because I put that tonic in her hair. They'll usually do that. So I'm gonna put her down, let her go play, and that's pretty much it. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos like this. I'll be doing training, other stuff like that. My children are crying, so I better go. Thanks for watching.